Hello, everyone. Welcome to the live chat. I'm Katrina. This is Sow and Tare Live every Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific time. So I'll tell you guys how we usually do this in case you're here. I go through the comments, and it's a lot of hellos at the beginning, and we get into some content, and people ask questions, people have discussion topics they bring up, and then partway through, I have a topic of discussion. And that is always good because it's pre-planned, and we might get into some interesting things tonight, and we'll go from there. So, welcome everyone, and please keep your comments family friendly. Let's go up to the top. You guys were here before me. Hey, Steve's here. Steve, you say you're second. I don't know who was first. I don't see anybody behind you. It's probably Dawn. Welcome, Steve. Greetings, quail family from Mississippi, where it's only 92 degrees. We got up to 95 or 6 today here, so we're with you. And Steve, I was right, huh? Dawn, you were robbed. What happened to Dawn's comment and like? If it's too early, somehow we don't see it when it goes live. I know Dawn usually likes it like as soon as it comes up. Can you bring me my glasses, please?
Yeah.
Thanks. Aaron's here. Greetings from far South Louisiana, where the heat index was 124 today. It did not get that hot today. So what was it? Regular temperature without the index on it. Man, I hope you guys stayed cool. I hope your rabbits stayed cool. Your quail probably didn't have a problem with it, but hopefully they stayed cool as well. Yeah, good indoor day. Ed's here. Welcome. It was 69 here in Virginia Beach today. 69. That is not hot. Switch that around, maybe it's hot. Welcome. Steve's saying, I'm starting to get the feeling you guys are following me. Yeah. 124, I think I die, Steve. Yeah, that is hot. The hottest I've ever been in, I think, was 118. The hottest has been here is 115. That was last summer. It got up to 115. And thank you. And yeah, 124 is not good. Definitely want to check yourself on that. Make sure you're drinking lots of water, stay inside, check on the animals, give them ice. Maybe bring some inside if it gets too hot. Yeah. Aaron says, a real good friend said I would find you here. I had to load and unload 2,000 pounds of feed, 40 bags. That you had your gym membership right there. I think you should start selling gym memberships. I think that would be great. I think that would be fantastic to have a farm that had gym memberships. And I mean, turning compost, maybe you put the compost piles on the opposite sides of the farm and people have to wheelbarrow it. It's an idea. Somebody could make some money off of that. Get work done from other people. Yeah. Don said, good evening from nice, cool 80 degrees in central Illinois. Still no rain, though. We don't get rain all summer. Yeah. Steve says it's 73 degrees in Miamisburg, and it's only 33 days until QuailCon. Yes, QuailCon is coming up. And I'll be there, and Aaron will be there, and Ed will be there. Dawn, are you coming? I don't remember what you said. Anyway, if you're coming to QuailCon, let us know you're going to be there. And if you're going, say hi to me. And if your name is not what your name is on here, let me know who you are on here so I know who you are. Yeah. All right. It's still there at the top. Dawn, I don't see it. It's just you because you put it there, I think. But we know you're there. All right. Yeah, the welcome thing disappears too, Dawn. Yeah. Steve says, I got my Square device to take credit card payments, moving slowly forward. That is so awesome, Steve. You are ahead of me. I did update my website, which I will put on here. Actually, I just did this. I should use this. I did update my website with some shop stuff, but it's mostly if you're here and able to pick up because it it's just, I don't have my store stuff set up yet. I know that I can do payments through Wix. I have not figured out how. I did set up PayPal, but I don't have it set up correctly. So it will happen at some point soon, hopefully. But congratulations on that. Dawn says, I'm watching Steve keep track of QuailCon because after it's over, Andy's coming to get her cage full of crowing roosters. Oh, that's right. I wonder how she's going to drive with a car of crowing. Put a blanket over him and hope. Turn up the radio, Steve says. And Don wants to know if Steve's wife had starter box of eggs. All right. Hey, Verna's here. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Verna. Thank you for the message today. I appreciated it. Verna is my moderator. She is in blue with a little wrench. She catches bad guys, and she has a channel that she raises animals in her apartment. She raises quail and cuy, and is going to be starting to raise rabbits in her apartment and gardens downstairs. And so if you're interested in that kind of self-sufficient living tips, she is a good place to go to that. And her channel has a live on Saturday mornings. All right. Joy's here. Hello, all from Western Oregon. Hi, Joy. Welcome, welcome. Oh, Steve, your wife thinks it's weird eating fresh eggs and quail. That is so weird. It's nice to eat those things. Yeah. Oh, Joy's building cages. Awesome. Yeah, thank you, Verna. I'm gonna talk about that in a little bit. Thank you. Dawn says, my hubby won't touch quail eggs or quail, more for me in sales. That is sad. That is sad. I know I mostly eat quail eggs, and my mom mostly eats chicken eggs. I like both. Quail eggs seem to be a little bit richer, but chicken eggs are also very good. I mean, they're homegrown, so and they've been getting lots of fun stuff recently. Yeah. Lots of people say that they don't want to eat quail eggs because they're too cute, and I don't understand that rationale, but that's okay. I'll eat them for them. Sue says, good, Joy. I need 2 more large cages. Let me know when they are ready for me. Trying to get Joy to build some cages for you. My share jumbo's going to lockdown tomorrow, Joy says. Awesome, awesome. I have eggs in the incubator over there, and they are next Sunday they go into lockdown. So that is good. Good luck. Everybody's saying good luck. Congratulations. Joy says, Steve, I don't know what your version of a large cage is. Mine are 24 by 18. All right. Feet or inches? Yeah, good question. And Steve's is 8 feet long. All right. Oh, yeah, to make them light, and it's in inches. Okay. Okay. Steve says, mine are definitely not portable and to be able to be picked up. Yeah. But if you have them sturdy and they're there and they're meant to stay there, that's all you need. Yeah. Verna did a video. I did not watch it yet, Verna, but it was all about her getting ready to go to QuailCon. I think it was only a minute, right? I should have watched it, but I was busy doing other things. Yeah, she just did a video about getting ready to go to QuailCon. So watch that. Oh, you do 1 breeding group in each cage. Okay. So, Joy, are you breeding for special colors or special traits, or are you it's fine to do that. What I'm wondering what your rationale is for doing 1 breeding group in each cage, if you're just keeping track of genetics or whatnot. I know a lot of people have colony cages where there's multiple breeding groups, which means everybody breeds with everybody in that whole system. And that's how my aviaries work as well. Like it's not just 1 breeding group per aviary. It's, a bunch of them in there. So I'm just wondering what your purpose is in that, if you're looking for colors or looking for weight or just kind of doing some different breeding experiments. Be interesting. And oh yeah, Joy's building her cages to match the drip pans. Yeah, so that is something you want to think about when you're building cages. Is cages or brooders is where's the poop going to go? Once you know where the poop's going to go, then you can build it to whatever your system you have for that. You don't want to build that and then find something to fit. Yeah. All right. Now we're here where I came in. Ed's saying hi to everyone. Checks watch. Yeah, I was a couple minutes late. I'm sorry. Verna's going to have an omelet ready to add water and cook for those camping out. Awesome. So Verna is bringing some freeze-dried food to QuailCon. I think she's doing snacks and vegetables and breakfast, right? For some camping people and also non-camping people. I know she brought some stuff last year as well. It was pretty good. It jumped. I'm sorry. I gotta scroll up. All right. The video was a sample of some candies available at QuailCon. Okay. Yeah. So check that out for Verna's video. She's gonna bring a lot of freeze dried stuff, and it's always good. It's always good. I right now have, well, it's ready to come out. I just haven't taken it out because I'm talking to you guys. But another batch of peach puree is ready to come out of the freeze dryer. We have one more batch to go in, and then we have probably one more batch on the tree. And we powdered it. The first batch we powdered, and we put it all in one bag, and that was probably not the best idea because that's 10 quarts of peach puree in one bag, and I'm planning on using it probably not as thick as the puree. I'm planning on using it as a water additive to make juice, because that's what it is. I mean, it's reconstituting juice is what I would do. Yeah, so that's what's happening in the freeze dryer. And let's see. Sue says hi. Thanks for the hug, Verna. Aaron says, love the shirt, Katrina. So you guys may or may not remember, I don't even know if they make them anymore, but it's called Humanities, like tees, like TEES, like t-shirt. And they were fundraisers. And so I got several fun ones long time ago, but there's the front. On the back, it looks like this. So they have some fun shirts. Yeah, thank you. Sometimes I get weird looks when I have one of these, and then I have one with a lizard that has like a fake pocket on the front, and it has a lizard coming out, and then on the back it has like a lizard going in and out of the shirt. It looks like, yeah. Dawn says, "Are you going to display the before and after freeze dried on those candies?" I thought that was cool. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool to do, just as a little thing at your table. Oh, when I came up, your comment went away, Dawn. I didn't do it. Sorry. Hey, here. Hey. Welcome, Kelly. And Christina's here, Guidro's Family Farm. Hey, friends. Welcome. Oh, yeah. So Dawn's asking for pre and post freeze drying samples. I think what she's just saying is to have them there to show people what it looks like before and after. I think it'd be a good idea. Aaron says regular temperature here was 101. It was a record-breaking day. 101 does not sound as bad as 124, I have to say. But 124, regardless of heat index or not, is bad. Bob's here. Howdy, peeps. Hi, Bob. Ed's saying hi to all the newcomers. I don't think they're new today, maybe, but not new to the channel. Gem membership, seriously good idea. I know, and people would do it. Like, you would have to have like I mean, I really think wheelbarrow races to turn your compost from one side of the farm to the other would be really good. Like you could make it a competition, and you do it once a week or once a couple weeks, or I mean, you could come up with all sorts of stuff. I mean, you don't have to have composted piles on the other side of the farm, but like that would be a reason to do things differently. It would suck if no one showed up. Let's just say that. Let's get the memberships first, and then plan your compost turnover. 75 at Verna's place. It's overcast here and might rain tonight in central Utah. Kelly says it's 85ish now, so a really cool day. Yes. Yeah, it's 80 something now. We just opened the windows before I sat down. Yeah. It says, would that be a farmed in? You could have a fun name. A fun name. Already 71 there, Roberta says. Wow. Bob's 80 and 36% humidity. Feel real temp is 72. Nice and cool, nice and cool. All right. Feather Connection says, I suppose as the co-MC at QuailCon, I better explain Tickle Trunk to everyone who doesn't know. Yes, yes. Oh, and also says I have a customer coming in 20 minutes to get hens. Total today sold 15 hens. That is so awesome. You are rocking it. And thank you, Verna, for posting links. I'm just going to jump in here and tell you guys what happened last night. It is not the topic of the day, but I want to tell you guys. So if you guys watched the video this morning or today at some point, Tortellini was having issues with her legs, and I left it at that in the video. And what happened is I went out there to sex the babies, and we have two females as her babies. There's two of them, two females, I believe. And Tortellini was acting really weird, and her balance was off, and she looked like she was favoring her right leg, and she kind of came over to me, and then she turned her body so that her butt was to me, and I think she was asking for me to help her. So I sat there and I massaged the muscles, and I don't know what the actual name of the muscles are for the rabbit. I'm just going to use human terms, but her thigh muscle was really tight, and I was like, okay, I think she slipped on something that Manuel set up to keep the babies out of the water. They were going underneath it and knocking it up, so just run all day. I think that injured her. I don't know if that's the full story or if it's part of the story. In any case, she was also lifting up her front part of her body with her two front paws. And I took her inside, and I had her on my lap. I was massaging that muscle because I knew that something was wrong with the back muscle. I tested all of the legs to make sure they go out and in and up and back. And they all seemed to be functional. She did go like this on the left rear leg. And so I was massaging that. She was letting me do that. And she was really much more calm than I thought she would be. And I think she was in a lot of pain. So anyway, I decided to give her a Epsom salt bath in the sink and held her upper body out of it. 20-minute soak. I did this with a hurt baby bunny that actually got its leg caught in the hay basket last year. Don't know how that happened, but it came out and it was hanging by its leg, and it made a full recovery. So it went from dragging it behind itself to that with Epsom salt baths and massages, and then like I would do little physical therapy things like press on its leg and just move it, keep it in motion. And so that was my thinking. And she seemed to relax in that. I think it felt good to be in the Epsom salt bath. And during all this, she would every once in a while kind of kick, and but not like with full power. And when I dried her off, and I'm like, okay, well, you look like you're ready to go back. I mean, she just looked done. She looked like she had had enough of being inside and wanted to go back. And as I placed her back in her hutch, she passed away. So that is what I'm going through right now. I'm going through lots of emotion and anger and sadness and regret that I, didn't move things when I did. And I know that we just lost Meatball, and that is just snowballing on me. So a little emotional today. So I've thought through everything. So before you guys start mentioning things that might be related, let me tell you what we're actually doing. She's buried. She's buried now next to Meatball, her daughter. And I believe that it is we call it a mechanical fall, or mechanical, that like if an older person falls and they always ask you, well, was it mechanical fall? That means, was there something that caused her to fall? Or was it, a mental thing that happened? I believe it was mechanical. I don't know if her spine was hurt. I don't know what happened exactly. I do know that after I bathed her and in the Epsom salt bath, her shin was swollen and a little red. So I know that was injured. What I don't know is if she slipped on these things that Manuel had underneath the water. I don't know if that caused injury, or if she already had something going on and got injured. Because there's 2 rabbits and all of Meatball Rabbit died, I am taking special precautions in case it was something else, in case she got hurt as a result of being sick. I don't think that's the case, but I am taking the precautions that go along with that. I think that's the smartest thing to do. So her babies are 7 weeks old now, and I've moved into the grow out pen. So they are outside of that environment now, out on different water line, different everything. So they are in there. And then I moved Parmesan, who is also on the same water line in case there's something with the water. I moved him into a temporary, it's a rabbit cage, rabbit hutch. I have an extra one. Actually, I have a couple extra ones. It's the size that I think most rabbits live in. Their hutches are pretty large here. But he is also in the screen and porch, but away from the other ones. And I just want them to be separate from each other, and separate from the other rabbits, and separate from that environment. In case there was some sort of disease or bacteria or whatever. We'll be cleaning the water system. I'm going to be sanitizing the hutches and all of that before they go back in. And we are also going to be washing hands and maybe changing shirts between Parmesan, between the Tortellini's 2 babies, and between our 2 new breeders, which, I mean, I saved them back to replace Meatball and Tortellini, but I did not think it was going to be like this. I did not think it was going to be because they were going to die. So that's what we're doing. And trying to quarantine them away from each other and away from the newer breeders, the sisters that we saved back, Ravioli and Rigatoni. So I honestly think it was a mechanical issue, but I can't confirm that. And I'm not going to be doing a necropsy because the results would be the same. I would be doing the same thing that I'm doing now. So anyway, that's what's going on with me. That's why I'm a little frazzled. And yeah, you guys can hopefully, if there's something else you suggest that I should do, let me know. If you think I'm doing what I should, let me know. But like I said, I have a lot of emotions right now. All right, let's continue and hopefully get to some good stuff. The good thing is, I mean, the two babies that Tortellini left, they were going to be meat. I don't know if I'm going to save them to breed. I'm going to wait to make that decision later. They're 7 weeks old. I process at 12 weeks. We have some time. They are both female. If I did need to save them and have additional females, I could, but I do have rigatoni and ravioli that were starting to breed coming up here in probably September. So, all right, I'm going to off that subject and on to better things. All right, Erica's here. Hello, everyone. Welcome, Erica. And I already read Feather Connections. And Ed says, awesome, Kelly. Yeah, I think that's awesome. Kelly's rocking it when it comes to sales and just doing quail in Utah all over the place. Like, she's awesome. Ed says Jasmine had a lot of damage at her place from the storm. I hope it wasn't too bad. I haven't been in the messaging today. I've been doing other things. Yeah, I hope that it's not too bad. Erica says, my daughter is trying to talk me out of eating the cuy. Well, good luck with that. Bob agrees with Verna. One breeding group in each hutch built all wire cages for grow out and meat and birds. Okay, and extra roos. Yeah. Tell her, so Verna's saying to Erica, tell her at least you are not forcing her to eat it. Yeah, I mean, that's true. But I think kids, especially kids that, don't grow up with their own meat. I didn't grow up eating our own meat. It can be challenging. I mean, I remember my parents bought half a cow. And, it's cheaper that way. We got a upright freezer in the garage. And my mom felt that it was a good idea to go visit said cow before it died. Yeah, that was not a good idea for me. I didn't want to eat it because I'd met it. And I now understand things a little differently. But as a kid who didn't grow up that way, that was very foreign to me. So I understand that. Dawn says, hubby took a dozen quail eggs into my hairstylist the other day, and two ladies asked him if they were real. He said yes. Then they asked, what do you do with them? Eat them. Yeah, that is a common question. Well, what do you do with them? How do you cook them? Like the same way you cook other eggs, except for, timing. Timing's a little shorter. But yeah, that is a common question. And it's so funny because an egg is an egg, Yeah. I got to scroll up because you guys jumped again. All right. So Erica, that's what you told her? She doesn't have to eat it? Yeah. Oh, Verna's video is a teaser video. Is that the link you put? Yeah, that's good. That's good. We'll have lots of fun things at QuailCon. Way to go, Erica, Verna says. Bob says, my hutches are 24 by 48, half wire and half enclosed with sandbox. In the other enclosed part, 15 by 24. That sounds good. Is that designed after Slightly Rednecks? I like his hutch setup. I think if I did hutches, I would do it like him, but I do aviaries, which I like better. Verna says, my cages have all feather colors and cages with a bachelor pad for extras. Yeah, so those wondering about bachelor pads, when you're talking about Coturnix quail, bachelor pads basically once quail get to about 6 weeks, sometimes 5 weeks, but 6 weeks, the males are little teenage boys, and they act like little teenage boys. And so the ratio you should have for the benefit of the females is 5 females to 1 male, and all the other males, if you have another space that you can put all the other males, put them there. It's better to put them there before they get to that age. If you can put them there at like 3 weeks when you can sex the feather sexable ones, that's good. It might not be 6 weeks if it's non-feather sexable. Yeah, but that way they don't get harassed too much. Bob says I use drip pans too. They cover the wire area plus the small wire floor area in the enclosed portion. Yeah. So Verna's bringing to QuailCon breakfast, a few dinners, and candy. Candy of the wahoo. Lots of candy, huh? Yeah. Steve says I use the ground for my drip pan. Yep. I use deep litter in my aviary settings. Deep litter, which is wood, chopped up trees, wood chips. Ed says I'm bringing my freeze-dried food for all my meals as I have to watch my salt intake. Yeah, salt is amazing. It's amazing how much salt is in prepackaged foods, and even people add to it. And I don't use that much salt. I put salt on hard-boiled eggs and on corn on the cob, and I think that's all I actually put salt on. Yeah. Feather Connection says, I saw a video on Disney show, How to Catch a Smuggler, and a bunch of people brought in an entire suitcase of cooey. I laughed so hard and told my hubby, them's guinea pigs. That's funny. They were smuggling them? Why would you smuggle? Like, there's a history there. I don't know. Verna says I'll also have some beef jerky and hopefully cooey jerky. All right. Steve says Katrina has a monkey on her back. I think there's 2. I think there's 2 back there. 2 or 3. Verna says, yep, Kelly, cooey is guinea pigs. Cooey is livestock. Cooey pigs are pets. Or guinea pigs are pets. Yep. Oh, yeah. So Verna says if she's not on Slightly Rednecks on Thursday, then she's doing freezer camp. We understand. You have a lot to do too, don't you? No, I have monkey on my chest and I have monkeys on my back. See? Yeah, she missed it, I think. Jennifer says, good evening, Katrina, Verna, and everyone else. Good evening, Jennifer. I hope you're doing well. Now you did see the back, Verna. Ed says, there are 3 somethings on her back. Thought there were monkeys. Yes, they are monkeys. Joyce says, I have a question. I've never done strawberries before. What do you do with the runners? Depends what you were wanting to do. The runners will steal energy from your strawberry plants. The general practice is to cut them off and let your plant grow, and strawberry and all of that. However, if you want to grow more strawberries, you can cut them off and plant them. Now they're going to start growing roots, and if you wanted to, you could even put a little cup next to it with soil in it and shove it in there and just let it grow a little more roots, and then cut it off, and then you can go plant that. So that's trimming your runners from your plant and getting yourself more plants. So that is one way to do it. If you just let them grow, you're not going to get as many strawberries, but you'll still get strawberries. So I think it depends on at what point you are in their process. If you're trying to fill out more strawberry plants, you could maybe sell those as starts, as well. But if you're trying to fill out your patch with strawberry plants, then I say let them go. If you're trying to get more plants, let them go. But if you're at a point where you're like, no, I like the number of strawberry plants I have, I just want fruit now, then I would cut them off, and pot them up and sell them to someone, right? The people who grow them commercially, what they do is they actually start them each year usually. So strawberries are a perennial crop, right? So you plant them once and you have them. You don't have to dig them up. You don't have to, move around. They don't die every year. Once you have them, you have them. I mean, they do die eventually, but once you have them, you have them. It's a perennial crop. What the farmers do is they do dig it up every year, and they order, what are they called? Plugs or tips is what order. And the tips is those runners. And so you can actually, at the end of strawberry season, depending on where you are, Joy, you are in Oregon. You might be able to do this. Are there strawberry fields near you? If there are strawberry fields near you, ask the farmer if you can take some tips at the end, or even the plants. So the plants that they actually dig up the plant and toss them, right? They'll compost them. Sometimes they'll sell them. Sometimes you'll see them for free on Craigslist. That's a small farm. That's not big farms. But those are perfectly good plants. And that is what you would get if you were to buy crowns. So like, those bags of like dormant strawberries that you get like at Lowe's or whatever, those are strawberry crowns. And that is what you dig up if you dig up a mature plant or a 1-year-old plant. And that's what the farmers do. And then what they do is, in greenhouses, they start these little tips, and the cut end. So it looks like a little spider, right? Like that. But then there's this cut end from the mother plant. If you put that into the soil, right next to it will be roots, and those roots will be in the soil, or they'll be touching the soil. And they have special misters to mist them at certain times, certain intervals, like really close together, to keep them going alive and well and really well. I know one farm said that they missed, I think 10 seconds for every 5 minutes or something like that. I mean, it's regular misting. So that's how they do that. And then they make plugs, and they actually plant those plugs next year. So that's how the big farmers do it. How you do it, you can wait until there's roots, or you can, like I said, put a cup next to the plant and just shove it in there. And after, I don't know, a week or so, there's going to be roots in that cup, and you can just cut it. So does that answer your question? Let me know if you want to know more, because I actually did just take a free workshop on that. So good timing. Plus, I've grown strawberries, not commercially. They grow really great in green stalks because they can cascade over, and I really like them because the slugs don't really find it, and strawberries love and hate water, right? They love water in the roots, but they hate water on the leaves and the fruits. So the green stalks are actually perfect for that. And I actually have, okay, this is a really long link, but I have a affiliate link that will give you $10 off. It's saying it's too long. Why is it too long? You can go to my website and get that. Or actually, I think it's in the description of this video. It says it's too long. Okay. Yeah, in the description of this video is a link for the green stalk, $10 off your first order of, I don't know, it has to be so much. But strawberries grow really well in green stalks, really, really well. Yeah, you guys have seen mine. But yeah, let me know if you want to know anything else about that. Jennifer says, hey, Verna, do you sell any freeze-dried veggies or candy? Yeah, so she's going to be at QuailCon. She's going to be selling all sorts of stuff with freeze-dried. Yeah. Verna says, sounds like she had a stroke. Maybe. We're talking about tortellini. She did pass yesterday. That's something I hadn't thought of, Verna. I've been so scatterbrained since Meatball and her babies didn't make it. And I was thinking, well, it might be related to her because, Tortellini went in, she did actually hop in the nest box for Meatball's babies and, smell them. And she actually did cover them up. So I was thinking maybe there was something transferred there, but I didn't think about a stroke. Maybe she was really weak. Like she did come over to me and all that, but she was really weak. I hadn't thought of that. Thank you, Verna. That is a possibility. And I did film the massages and the bath and all that because I was going to make a video on recovery of soft tissue, but I'm not gonna show that now. Yeah, she's gone. If you want to see how Epsom salt can be used for recovery of soft tissue, I've used it on myself for sprained ankles, but if you type in hurt baby bunny, I don't have the link, but hurt baby bunny, that's a video I did last year, and that one fully recovered. Then we ate it, but it fully recovered. And then I think Epsom salt bath for quail. I think for Mr. Quail, I think it was. I think I did that. Was the other Epsom salt one. And that was a case where I had just decided which males to keep, and there were only 3. I had 3 males and 15 ladies, and I went out the next day, and here's a male, and he's walking with his legs straight out. He's just hopping. I'm like, what the heck did you do to it? And if I hadn't chosen males already, and I wasn't down to 3 and possibly 2 if he went away, then I would have taken him to dinner. But yeah, instead I did the massages and the Epsom salts, and he's still out there right now making lovely babies. Yeah. So there's a couple things for you. Eric's here. Welcome from West Covina. I don't know where that is, but welcome, Eric. Bob says, I put a thin layer of sawdust in poop trays, automotive oil trays, and dump them in my compost bin. That's good. That's good. Los Angeles County. That's right, Eric. You're in California. I'm in California. And I asked you if you're going to the Heirloom Expo. So if anybody, I did not put that link up. Let me do that. So I will be at the National Heirloom Exposition. It's run by .com, and let's see, Heirloom Expo. It is in Ventura, California. The week after QuailCon, like the week after, 2 weeks after. I don't know. I'm coming back midweek, and then I'm going down there. And so that is a really, really fun event. I think you said you weren't going. I'm sorry. I'm now remembering our conversation. But it's a really fun event, and you meet tons of like-minded people. It's just like QuailCon in that, everybody's nice, everybody's helpful, everybody wants everybody else to do well. Like QuailCon and the Heirloom Expo are 2 events that are just amazing that way. Yeah, it's awesome. You find all sorts of new plants, you meet all sorts of people, and I've put my application in to be an exhibitor there. I don't know when we find out. I know today was the deadline, but cross your fingers for me. Hopefully I'll be an exhibitor there. That'd be fun. So that's the Heirloom Expo. Verna says, I'm so sorry, Katrina. I know that is hard. My heart goes out to you. Yeah, thank you, Verna. Thank you. Yeah, it's like I said, I have lots of emotions right now, and lots of emotions plus kind of numb. Does that make sense to anybody? Yeah. Anyway. Whew. Dawn says, oh, Katrina, hugs. Thank you, Dawn. Sue says, I'm luckier, Bob. Black soldier flies BSF is black soldier flies, in case anybody is wondering. And I don't need 2 pairs of glasses on my head. Have taken up residency, making great compost, and soon to be more stacks for quail. Awesome. I have not seen those emerge yet. However, I am actively treating the fly population with quick strike outside of the aviaries. And then this came in the mail a few days ago, and these guys are ready to go out tonight. These are, you guys remember what this is? These little tiny bugs there, they're called fly predators, and they're a species. There are 3 species that this company works with. This is Spalding, and there's 3 species that they work with, and they are little teeny tiny wasps, and they actually kill the flies in the pupa stage. And I will put in a link here for that. And you can use the good neighbor code here, is something you can use that will give me that will support me in my next purchase there. And they, I think, are working. I think that's working. So we still have flies. We don't have nearly as many as we used to. And so using the quick strike for the adults and the fly predators, the little tiny wasps, they have what the species are on their website. I just don't remember what they are. But having these guys out there taking care of the young'uns, that is really, really good. I think it's doing a really good job. Now they do like a plan for you based on your zip code, your location, like how many of what kind of animal you have, and like how big your area is. And they do a plan, and also what time of year. And so like mine, they sent out like a double load the very first one, because they're like, okay, we have an issue. We've identified there's an issue happening now. We're going to just blast it right now. It takes 2 weeks for them to go through that process, and you start to have a visual effect. And then the adult flies last for a month. So you are actually, I mean, you have to deal with adult flies while you're dealing with young ones, which is why I'm using quick strike. And because they're wasps, they don't actually go to the bait for the flies. And I think they're working. So I support that. All right. Jennifer says, "Aw, I'm very sorry for your loss, Katrina." Thank you, Jennifer. I'm so sorry. Ed says, "Thank you, Ed." Yeah, thank you. Gudrow's Family Farm says, "I'm sorry about your buns. You've had such a tough time with them lately." Yeah, and I mean, Tortellini was getting to the age that, I mean, she should have still had life left in her, but as far as production, I mean, she had 2 that were alive this time. They were, her production life was waning, and I just planned to hang on to her or give her away as a pet because she's such a sweetie. But that's not going to happen now. Yeah. Don says, "Steve, they want us to eat bugs, and that includes black soldier flies." I've had crickets and I've had grasshoppers, and they're not bad. They're seasoned well, is good. Yeah, so Ed says the rest of the world eats a lot of bugs. It is the fastest way to get protein. Steve says, "I'm going to pass as I don't have any chocolate to coat them." There's a way to fix that, Steve. There is a way to fix that. Don says, "If I want to eat bugs, I'll do it on my terms, not being ordered to." Yeah, I see that. Yeah, Ed's going to send Steve a Hershey bar. Eric says, "Love the names ravioli and rigatoni." So, Eric, I know you're new, and I think there's a couple other people in here that are new since we named them. So my story with the rabbits, I actually got my rabbits. They started with Parmesan, which is the buck. Tortellini, who just passed. So Parmesan is he's still here. I have to say is and was. That's so sad. Parmesan is and still is a Californian. Um, Tortellini was a Black New Zealand. Meatball was a mix of them, those two, and she looked like a Californian. And Ziti was also a mix, and she looked like her mom, like a Black New Zealand. So those were the original ones. This past year, they're going to be 9 months soon. I think they're going to be 9 months soon. So whatever 9 months ago was, is when I saved back two. I was just going to say back one, and I decided to say back two because one of them was super sweet and the other one is big. And she was okay with being pet. She just didn't love it, but she was okay with it. And so the original ones, they came with those names. There was a 4-H girl lady who was raising them. She graduated high school and she was going off to her adventure with life. And she needed to get rid of the animals. And I just so happened to be looking for some meat rabbits. I had some practice rabbits, which were pet rabbits, which are now living on a organic farm and eating organic food and pooping organic poop to make more organic food. And so I decided to keep with the Italian themed names, and we voted. So you guys gave, the community here gave a bunch of different names. We narrowed it down to 4, and then we voted, or you guys voted, and those were what we came up with: ravioli and rigatoni. So there you go. There's your background. We may have 2 more girls to name. We'll see. I don't know yet if I'm actually going to keep them or not. You guys can help me make that decision. If it's smart, if it's not smart, if what all you think. And thank you for the hug. Verna says, I think you've done everything right, Katrina. I don't think it was an illness. Yeah, it wasn't the same. I did not see Meatball pass. I'm assuming it was childbirth. I did see most of her babies pass, and it wasn't what they had. So it didn't. Okay, I'm going to revise this. It did not appear to be the reason they passed. However, I do know that in humans, the same thing exhibits differently at different ages. So, for an example, a UTI in a young person just hurts, and it hurts when you pee. There you go. That's your symptom. In an older person, they get confused. They start walking away somewhere. They don't know what's going on. It's a total different thing, but it's a total different symptom, but it is the same thing. So I don't know. I'm taking precautions. So yeah, but thank you for that, Verna. That does help me mentally. Eric says first stream here. Yes, he joined this weekend, right? Yeah. I just saw Night Dawn down here. It just jumped down. Good night, Dawn, if you're still on. I'm gonna zoom back up here. All right. Bob says, I built frames and put gravel under the hutches. Sawdust eliminates odor, and the poop goes where I want it in the compost. Yeah, so it doesn't just go down into the ground. Verna says, you have a lot on your plate, Katrina. We understand. Thank you. Erica says, we've been going through some losses here as well. I sympathize with your pain. Hugs and prayers from Arkansas. Thank you, Erica. And I'm sorry with your losses. Yeah, it's tough. And I guess I haven't really experienced a lot of it. Last year we lost ZD, and that was heat caused. It was 115 degrees and it was too hot. Even with ice bottles and all of that. That was the day after I came back from QuailCon, and when Mel came in, I came home, went to take a nap, was going to go see the animals after that, and he came in and told me she had passed. So That sucked. That was the first one. And then these past couple weeks have been a doozy, which is why I'm being extra careful. Because, yeah. Yeah. Eric says, I love quail eggs. Good. Do you grow quail is the question. And if not, why? You can grow them inside. You can grow them indoors. Verna, who is Vay's place, she grows them in her apartment. There's people who, are in wheelchairs and they grow them. And so they are easy to grow, very healthy. You can even have them. You can have a pet that poops breakfast. How about that? How about that? Verna says, heck of a lot shorter, and quail eggs have more of the B complex vitamins than chicken eggs. I don't know what's shorter, but maybe the time from birth to lay, because that is, less than 8 weeks or about, but thereabouts, 6.5 to 8 weeks. Vietnamese eat quail eggs a lot. Yep. So do non-Vietnamese. Yeah, that is a very popular thing. And also balut is also very popular amongst that culture. Yeah. Oh, and that's what Verna's saying. Dawn says the hairstylist 7-year-old daughter saw some at an Amish store and wanted them. She called them dinosaur eggs. Mom said no, so I sent them labeled dinosaur eggs for her. That's cute. That's sweet. That's sweet, Dawn. That is awesome. Everybody's saying the same thing. Cool. Says I wanted to give her quail too, but I held off. She dresses her chickens and has a leash for them. That is a well cared for pet. Hopefully well cared for. Eric says, yes, I used to eat balut in Vietnam. Awesome. I have not eaten that, but I also don't sell it. So I think if I sold it, I would try it, but I've never had it. Verna, you hear an egg song? Bob says, yes, I copied Chris for hutches, except made them too wide. Won't do that again. Difficult to handle. Plus, I did 2 levels, so 4 hutches together. Yeah, so that's something, Bob, that's something that comes from my knowledge of gardening, is that, and this actually, the brooder that we built, it is too deep. It is too deep. That's just the way it is, but it's already built and I'm not changing it. You should have garden beds and hutches. Think about how tall the hutch is, how tall the garden bed is, and how far you can reach. So a typical garden bed is 3 feet, 4 feet maximum. Because you reaching in further than that, further than 2 feet, reaching into a garden bed that's actively growing, it can be hard to see what's going on and feel what's going on. So 2 feet, 4 feet at the widest in garden beds is good. And I would say, depending on your height for quail cages and where it is a different story. So that's also true with the rabbit hutches. I make sure that I can reach all the way to the back corner. And that's how the hutches came with the rabbits, and it was an interesting task getting them here. But they came on legs this tall. And we extended that height so we could put the chickens underneath them in the racking house, which is now devoid of rabbits. And I did the same thing with the quail. So I needed to know how high it is so I could reach in and get to that back corner. So that is definitely something that you want to think of design-wise, is 1, where's the poop going? Build it to the poop catcher. And 2, can you reach where you need to reach? Yeah. Let me see the monkey on your back. Again? Okay. Yeah, Eric, her channel is Vay's Place. 1 on the chest, 3 on the back. Okay. It's a fun shirt. Humanities is the brand. Fundraisers. Ed says, yeah, Katrina, I never put salt on anything. We don't even have a salt shaker in the house, and the only salt I keep is under the sink to pour on the ice steps for winter. Yeah, there's so many other flavorings. Like, I wish people would stop salting chocolate and caramel because it just destroys the flavor, I think. Some people's like, oh, it makes it taste the pop. I'm like, no, you just taste salt in my mouth. Yeah. And Verna put her link. Dawn says, I wish I could find a berry I can grow hydroponically that is not a strawberry. I can't eat them. Oh, you can't have strawberries? I know someone who's allergic. A berry. What about a what are they called? Is it tayberry? What is it called? Tayberry. I have no idea how to spell it. No, not a tayberry. Thimbleberry. Thimbleberry. Thimbleberry you might be able to grow. They grow in wet areas in like forested areas, so I think that they would grow hydroponically. They're like a little raspberry, but much more delicate and softer, I guess. Like the seeds aren't as hard. Yeah, I've only had them wild. I don't know anybody that cultivates them, but you can be the first one. You can do aquaponics cultivation. Yeah. Everybody think of berries that Dawn can grow hydroponically. All right. PJ's here. I'm here. My son called me from Alaska. Did you hear him from that far away? Welcome, PJ. I hope you're doing all right. Hope you're doing better than all right. Ed says, real life comes first, PJ. Yep. Cool, your son called. Yep. Silver Creek Aquatics here. Hey, y'all. Bob has to go collect eggs and check food and water before dark. And Diana's here. Diana Telltale Farm. Hey, welcome. Never knew that about strawberry farms. Yeah, Steve, there's strawberry farms in Watsonville, just over the hill here, has a lot of strawberry farms. And, when it's not a strawberry farm, sometimes it's a broccoli farm. And sometimes it's a cabbage farm. And sometimes it's an artichoke farm. And artichokes are so different. They have designed an artichoke that is one that you can plant from seed all the way to fruit. It's really a bud of a flower in 1 year. And then they just get rid of it, put strawberries in. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. Trying to get the most use out of their land for multiple crops. Yeah. Thank you for putting the links there, Verna. Yeah, it wouldn't let me get the link there. Hey, JJ's here. Hey, everybody. Hope all is well. And Jennifer says, Katrina, I have a green stalk with strawberries. I use a clothespin to attach a small container to it and put the strawberry runner in it. Yeah, so that is a good idea. If you have soil in that or compost or whatever in that, and then you just shove in the growing tip, you can cut that off in like a week or two and have more plants. It's awesome. Thank you, Verna, for finding all of those links. Andy Rabbit's here. Hello. I would love to go to that expo one day. Deidre's Family Farm. You can come with me. You can go. It's fun. It's a really good event. It's a really big event. It used to be in Santa Rosa. Now this year is the first year in Ventura, and which is twice as far from me, almost. Yeah. Don says, got to get off early tonight. Hubby just came home, and I have to go do something. Have a good night, everyone. All right, we're having a good night. All right, so I'm going to bring up the topic of the day. If you guys came in late and didn't hear, Tortellini passed, and if you want to hear how that happened, I'm not going to repeat it right now. You can go back and listen. And I'm dealing with a lot. But what I want to know as a topic is, how is August going to be better than July? Because my July, a lot of it sucked. I want to know what's happening for you guys, what's happening for everybody that is going to make August so much better than July. That's what I want to know from you guys. Discuss. Something that I'm working on is I'm working on getting my financial stuff figured out for my website. I hope to at least get a t-shirt printed with my logo. I don't know when I will be able to make that available on the website, but my goal for August is to just get it printed. Get it printed for me and maybe for the expo, if I become a exhibitor, and a tote bag. I want to do those things. I want to make sure I can accept payments online and get that going for my business. And we are a month away from QuailCon, so that is why August is better than July for me. And there's also something that may or may not be happening, and I probably won't be able to tell you guys for a couple months. So suspense. Yeah. All righty. Let's see what people are saying. Oh, Andy, Don reminded you. So you came on right as she was getting off. Oh, you guys just jumped. Hang on. Andrew Rabbit says, had two of the grandkids' birthday party today. I'm wore out. I understand you. Yeah, I understand you. So, yeah, I put the fly predator from Spalding Labs there. That's a really great way to naturally get rid of the flies. And I mean, it does take refilling because as their food source gets less, I mean, they don't have anything to reproduce in. So that is something to think about. But it is also something that is proving to be effective right now. And then, yeah, that's good. It's working. Verna says, you can buy dried bugs on Amazon's to eat. Yeah, you can buy a lot of things on Amazon. You can. Thank you, Andy. Thank you. Yeah, Eric says, yep, from Goldshaw's live stream. Yep. Thank you for joining. I think a couple people joined from that. Verna says, always best to be cautious, even if it wasn't what I think. Taking the extra precautions only makes things better. Absolutely. Absolutely. And Verna says, I am proof you can homestead in your home. Yep. Yep. Oh, shorter time to cook. We were talking about cooking quail eggs versus other eggs. Shorter time to cook, shorter time to grow, shorter time for everything. Yep. Yep. Eric says, in Vietnamese, balut is called hot vịt lon. Tell me if I said it right. I wonder why we call it balut. I'd always wonder that when people call something in a native language that the thing exists in, why do we have to call it something else? I don't know. Andy says, it's very true with the rabbits. I don't do 30. Oh, I don't do 30 in deep because there that is 2 inches of space in the back they always hide in. So 24-inch deep is what I go with. Yeah, and it has to be to you and your size. Because if you're a huge, like 6'7" guy who has, humongous monkey arms, you can reach in there. But if you're teeny tiny person, 5'2" person with teeny tiny little arms, you're not going to be able to reach in there. And the height also matters, right? So you have to design it for the person who's actually going to be in there and be in that environment. And you do want to be able to reach the corners because, as Andy said, the babies are just going to run back there. Yeah. Andy says, I have to have salt on watermelon and whole tomatoes. I don't understand salt on watermelon. I do understand there's a lime seasoning on watermelon. That I tried once and that was really good. and not something I would have tried on my own. JJ says, my quail like wild strawberry, and it is everywhere. That is so awesome that you had wild strawberry with you or by you. Verna put a link for Dawn. And hydroponic berries. Verna, I don't know if Dawn is on anymore. I think she might have gone off. If you want to put that in the Friends of Sow and Tare Facebook group, that would be fantastic. So for those that don't know, we have this group. I'm getting the link. Sow and Tare Facebook group. Sorry, Friends of Sow and Tare Facebook group. And we talk about a lot of things that come up during these lives. We have discussions after the fact. People want to share pictures or stories about their own experiences. That's where we do it. And then I also post links to my videos when they come out. So yeah, but things like that. Yeah, that would be good to do that and tag Dawn in. I think Dawn's on there. Thank you, Verna. Number 1, good things about August we're listing. August starts to cool down. Where you are, maybe. It's heating up now. We'll see if it cools down. But yes, it is the start of the end of summer. Number 2 is just before QuailCon, so party time is getting closer. Good to positives. Thank you, Verna. Guido's Family Farm says we'll have our website done before QuailCon, so that's our August plan. I understand you, Christina. I understand you, and I got mine done, and then I added stuff today, and I changed it last week, and it's a living document. I don't know what you call it when it's online. A living website. Always changing, and I think once you get your basics down, then it's much easier. Once you know that, I don't know what you're using to create it. I use Wix, and you can copy a section and you can copy it into a different page, and that's much handy, very much handy. That was great English right there. To know that you can do that. I don't know what program you're using though. Andy Rabbit says, August, I'm getting ready for QuailCon. I'm getting my shirt printed this week for QuailCon. Awesome, awesome. And Verna says, wonderful, Christina. Steve says, are you going to print on demand t-shirts, or are you going to stock and ship? My plan right now is to do the print on demand like Kelly's doing. I've been talking with her about how that's been working for her and Kelly with Other Connections Homestead, which that is where, I don't know, Verna, do you have the t-shirt link for QuailCon? I don't have it. That's where the t-shirts are being printed for QuailCon. And I got a tank top because I was like, hey, we should have tank tops. She's like, I can do that. But here's my tank top for QuailCon. And so that's my plan right now. Whether that changes in the future, I do not know. But I haven't talked to anybody about it yet. So I need to talk to somebody about it or figure out what I'm doing. JJ says, I have nothing planned for August but canning, and then can some more. And did I mention I'll be canning? JJ, that sounds fabulous. It really, really does. And I saw more tomatoes on my tomato plants. For those that have been following, I haven't had tomatoes on my plants for 2 years because we have had ridiculous heat in inopportune times. And when ridiculous heat comes in inopportune times, the tomatoes, the flowers don't work. They become sterile. Sometimes they drop, sometimes they don't, but they become sterile. So this year I planted a bunch of heat tolerant tomatoes, and I do have a video on that. You can look up heat tolerant tomatoes on my channel and you'll see that, what I'm planting. And so far, I think 2 or 3 types have flowers or have fruit on them. They're green, but I'm waiting, and hopefully I don't have to wait very long. Verna says, I am culling, freeze drying, and printing things out. Yes, yes. Sounds much more interesting. Canning can be good. Oh, and making jerky, Verna says. Yep. Steve says, for August, I just want to survive the heat wave. No use starting something new on QuailCon. I understand that. So you're looking for a break. You're looking for a pool to lay by, right? Good. Andy Rabbit says, in September or October, depending on the weather, it is if it's cooler by then, I'm going to go through my deep freezer and can what I can. Good idea. JJ says, I think our last heat wave is over. Now is the mad rush to harvest and can. Yeah, I'm not to harvest yet for the tomatoes. I do have it's a zucchini crookneck squash that volunteered in the yard this year. I love my volunteers. You guys know that. And there's actually one that I meant to harvest a couple days ago, and then stuff happened. But I am using those, and those are on the list somewhere to freeze dry some of them once I get the peaches done, and I want to do a load of quail eggs, and then I plan to do zucchini after that. So we'll see if that actually happens. They might just get frozen and then done later. Yeah. Britta says, on my 3-tier, I have to use my step stool to get the animals. Yeah, so she has Winola Ranch cages for her quail. Yep. Oh, Erica's answer. It's balut because that's the Philippines way of saying it. That makes sense. Did they invent it? Probably got invented everywhere, right? Ed says, I have quail earrings and quail wishbones to plate, copper plate, silver plate, and gold, and get everything ready to leave early on August 31st to head to Ohio for QuailCon. Awesome. And Ed, Ed's going to be sharing his secrets, but only if you're at QuailCon. And he has lots of secrets to share. I've seen some of these secrets, and they're pretty darn good. So, if you're at QuailCon, hunt down Ed. Say, I want your secrets. Eric says in Vietnam, it's pronounced it's Hoc Vic Lon. Hoc Vic Lon. All right. Vernon's going to look it up again. Oh, thank you. Guido says, we're using Wix also. Okay, if you have questions, I might be able to help, and I would say Kelly might be able to help. And Verna put the link to get your t-shirts for QuailCon, Feather Connections Homestead, not home. That's her name, but featherconnections.com. And if you want fun quail shirts, she has some pretty fun quail shirts and bee shirts to look at as well. Verna's ready. Got a t-shirt and a tank top. Yeah, I can talk to George about what he does. That's a good idea. Verna says, great. Mine finally have a couple of flowers too. The tomatoes? Yeah. The one in the front has flowers, but it has had flowers the past couple years, and I don't know if it's ever going to have fruit, but I don't do anything with it. It decided to grow there. I figure it can grow. Yeah, that's true. Steve says, yeah, but George prints them himself. It requires her to pack and ship. Yeah, and I think that's something I want to avoid right now, just because I'm so busy. I mean, I do have a full-time job, and I'm doing, YouTube, and I'm doing homesteading, and I'm starting to get my business started, and right. So I'm thinking that's the way to go. I did talk to him about that last year at QuailCon, and so I kind of got what his startup costs were for what he does. So George works at My Shire Farm, and he does a little, I don't know if it's little, but he has his own printing. He does dye. What is it called? Somebody help me with it. Dye something or something dye printing, where it actually dyes the shirt. It doesn't take something and put it on. It actually dyes the shirt. Why can't I think of it? Anyway, and I don't know what he's done with it since that point, but yeah. Rita says, yeah, Steve, but they are better teas. Yeah, they are. They're good quality. That's true. JJ says, yay, about Sow and Tare tomatoes. Those must taste super good since they took long enough to grow. They took a really long time to grow, but like I said, they're heat tolerant. So, and I actually don't remember if they must be determinate. I don't remember. I'm going to have to look it up at some point. So for those that don't know, there's two types of tomato. There's more two types, but two growing types of tomato. One is determinate type and the other one is indeterminate type. Determinate type gets a certain height, then it's done. Those typically ripen near or at about the same time. Those are the growing types that farmers choose who actually pick a whole field at once. And then the indeterminate type, they'll just grow forever. I mean, if you don't get winter, they will grow forever, and you don't get bugs and disease. And they'll just keep on giving you flowers and fruit forever until they die. Yeah. Verna's going to make more breakfast bars. It's a good idea. Amy's here. Hi, everyone. Just dropped by. Hi, Amy. Welcome. Welcome. Oh, and coffee cups? Verna says, Kelly has neat coffee cups, but I like Guido's coffee cup better because it's bigger. So this is my alma mater. Alma mater? How do we say it? Yeah. But not for coffee, for tea. Or hot chocolate. But tea is good. Ed says, I have about 10 to 15 tomatoes. Finally, only 2 are getting red. Cool. And that's the ones on your front porch? Heat died. I think there's another word in there, Verna. I know it's with heat, but I think is that the only words? I thought there was another word. Verna planted bush beans yesterday, purple and green ones. Awesome. Good luck. Amy said the red wave had started at my house. Beefsteak, Roma, and Sweet 100 cherry. Sweet 100 cherry is in my opinion the best cherry tomato that I've grown, but I've grown blueberry tomato. The cherry tomato is called blueberry, and it was actually bad enough that I pulled it out. Like, it's the only tomato I've ever pulled out. I'm like, nope, I don't want this seeding in my yard. But I haven't planted Sweet 100 in a very long time. It is a hybrid, and it does reproduce, and the babies that it produces are basically like Sweet 100s. It's reproduced every year, except for I don't see any this year. We'll see if any pop up, but I don't see any this year. So I think maybe the Sweet 100 run of free volunteer tomatoes might be over. Heat died teased. Okay. That's probably it. Okay. I thought there was another word in there, but I guess not. Yeah, Ed's front porch tomatoes in a grow bag. Yep. Amy says, tonight's incubation tip is not to sit hot canning jars next to your incubator on lockdown. It will up your temps. No big damages. Hopefully my Shire grandchildren tomorrow. Yeah, that's the stuff that you don't think about because you just do it, right? Good luck. My incubator has been fluctuating a little more than I like, but it's still not in danger zones, but I might have a late hatch. We'll see. I did order a Brincia, a bigger, not a cabinet one, but a bigger one. And it was on the way here, and I got a message saying, hey, something happened in ShipNet. Okay, I have to reorder it. I'm like, why don't you guys just reorder it for me and just send it and say it's coming later? So I have to reorder. I haven't done it yet. Yeah. Yep. Verna says mine was in danger zones. Still got 76% hatch rate. That's pretty good. Yeah, I don't know why mine is wavering. It is a Huvabator. It's been doing really great. I did clean it out. Maybe it needs to be like really, 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 really cleaned. I sprayed it out with the air can. Yeah. Andy Rabbit says I should get babies to hatch out tomorrow. Awesome. Amy B says, oh man, shipping is the worst kind of limbo. Yep. Eric, audio skipping. Anybody else having this issue? Eric, you can try refreshing. Let's type that in case you can't hear it. Yeah, sometimes I have a bad internet connection, but I thought it was good recently. Andy Rabbit says, is the fan pointed in the right direction? It should be. I did not move it. Yeah, I did not take apart the fan. For mine to get to the fan, you just take the cover off, and you can actually get pretty much around it and then put it back on. You're used to it? Oh, Verna, I'm sorry. No skipping for Amy. Okay, I'm going to take Amy. Another thing. Oh, it's been the whole time? I'm sorry, guys. Another thing you can try doing is reducing the quality of the video. And sometimes that helps. But I'm sorry. Man. Punish the internet like redheaded stepchild. You know, they say that they give you a certain thing, but I believe it's only like in the middle of the day when no one else is around, right? Yeah. So, all right. Well, I'm glad that we are all going to have a better August than July. That is what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for good chicks. I'm hoping that I get my internet, my website all gathered together right, and check it out. It's good right now. I just need to. The shop is the only thing that's in progress, and then I have an affiliate, a discount code, and affiliate page as well. That it is. It's there. I have Amazon links for things in videos. I just plopped it there, so that part's a little bit of a mess. Until I get big enough to have my own Amazon shop, then at that point, that will just have a link to the Amazon shop. So deal with it right now. Yeah. Let's see. I'm not allowed to punish my redhead stepchild, Steve says. Aw. Verna says, Katrina, remember, it's always darkest before the dawn. You know, okay, we went out to dinner last night and before the incident. And we went to a Chinese buffet, and they give you a fortune cookie, which we all know, was invented in San Francisco. But it says you're not like, this was the fortune, right? I mean, there's fortunes that are like, oh, this is the way you're going to go, or hey, that's something silly. But this was the fortune that I got yesterday in my fortune cookie at this restaurant. You're not a loser until you quit. Like, thank you for saying it that way. That's a little weird way to say it. But there you go. But I stuck in my head. There you go. No quitting here. Brenda says, you're big enough for the Amazon shop. I may be. I need to have time enough to actually investigate that. I know I'm an Amazon associate right now, but I don't have my own Amazon shop. So all those links are associate or affiliate links, but not the actual shop. So yeah, exactly. So Verna, you like my fortune? Hey, David's here. Is it hot in here, or is it just me? It is hot. It's been hot. It was 95 or 96 today. Everybody did okay, so that's good. Yeah, it is hot. Eric says, okay, back and audio is normal. Okay. So something else that I know is when the internet goes weird on me here, and it shouldn't, right? I'm in Gilroy. I'm half an hour south of, San Jose. I'm not out in the boonies. But when it does do that, the replay is smooth. So I think on every single one, I try to listen to them, make sure make sure it goes smooth. But that should be true. Amy says Yogi Berra should have written fortune cookies. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah, it can be interesting sometimes to get those fortune cookies. But with everything that happened last night, I actually thought of that, which is it's kind of funny. It's like reading your horoscope, right? I mean, it's going to apply to you and everybody else in some way. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So, Heirloom Expo is after QuailCon. QuailCon is first weekend in September in Miamisburg, Ohio. If you're going, say hi when you're there, because I'll be there. And Verna's going to be there. Ed's going to be there. Steve's going to be there. Yeah, lots of people are going to be there. All right. David says, our kits are hogging Mama Bunny's ice bottle. Yeah. How hot is it there? You said it was hot. You didn't say how hot. Yeah. It's kind of funny. Some rabbits cuddle up to the ice bottle and some don't. I found that the babies tend to, but they also cuddle up with each other, right? I mean, whether it's hot or cold, they're ridiculous. I know Parmesan, he lays next to it like, okay, I'll lay here. And really none of the other rabbits would do that. Yeah, I mean, Meatball and Tortellini wouldn't. And I guess I've only had it in with rigatoni and ravioli a few times, and so far they haven't cuddled up next to it. They lick it, and ravioli did chew a hole in one. That was the wrong shape. We all know what shapes work for our rabbits, right? And if you don't have one, use a different one and hope that works. And it will work for that day. There'll just be a hole in it later. Yeah, I needed to hear that one, Verna. I think so. I think it was not that well written, but that's okay. Yes, Steve, September 2nd and 3rd, QuailCon, Miamisburg, Ohio, a month away. And you're going to, Verna says you'll see my ugly face first. I don't know. Who's going to be first, you or Steve? So Verna and Steve are going to be at the welcome tent, except for when Verna is doing her masterclass in Intro to Raising Quail. And then I'm after her with my masterclass in growing quail in aviaries. After me is Linda with Quail University and Hatching at Home, and she is she's going to be doing a masterclass on marketing. So she's doing that. There's going to be farm tours. There's going to be Papa the Builder is going to be doing farm tours of all the inventions and crazy ideas he's had. He's a really, really good inventor. Zach is going to be showing people the quail barn. I'm guessing he's going to do this too because he did it before. He usually hatches out birds so that people can actually take the birds and put them into the brooder. That's pretty cool. If you've never experienced that, that's pretty cool. What else is happening? Dale's Quails is going to teach you how to build your own brooder. And I think he might be doing something with a rabbit hutch for that. Well, I don't remember if that's actually what's happening or not. Melanie and Ricky, I almost gave his other name, Psycho Word. They are going to be doing they're going to be teaching us about farm safety, which is required. to know. And Manuel, you want to show people what's going on?
What?
Your hand?
No.
No? It looks bad?
Yeah, like that.
Okay. He got his pins out of his finger today. So, yeah, his finger just looks funny. He almost cut it off with a table saw. So, safety is something we want to talk about. Anyway, Melanie and Ricky are doing safety. Keith is doing something. I don't remember what he's talking about. And then Aaron and Brad and Jasmine are going to be teaching you guys how to butcher. And that is the first day. Second day, there's going to be tons of speakers. So, yeah, tons of speakers. All right. Let's go back up. Eric says all rabbits are named Italian cuisine. Yep. And that started because of just the names the original ones came with, and we're just going to continue it for at least these lines, or this line. We'll continue it. Yeah. David says triple digit real temps the last week and for the next few days. Ooh, David, if you haven't seen my cooking in the car videos, it's time to get out some cooking in the car videos, because you can cook in that temperature. You can make cookies if it's 70 something degrees out, and you can park your car in sun all day. You can make biscuits in those temperatures too. But if it's hot, you can cook meat. I cooked rabbit and I have cooked quail in the car. So check out those videos on how to set it up. Basically, you make a solar oven in your car. Verna says pasta, Eric. What are you responding to? Oh, it's not all pasta because meatball was meatball. And Parmesan is a cheese. So, yeah, I guess the girls are pastas now. The remaining ones. Steve says you can learn how to build a great aviary. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. Pho is a noodle. It is a noodle. It is a noodle. So you're asking, can pho be a name? I don't know. I was going with Italian foods. Steve says, I'll be at the welcome tent until it's time for Aaron to teach me how to grill quail. That's right. Aaron's going to be a master griller. Yeah, get ready for quail, and I think they're going to be roasting a hog and tons of sides, and there you go. Eric says bun, pronounced bun, is also noodle. Bun. All right. Verna says I'm only at the welcome table until I speak. Then I will be at my table. Okay, you're going to be there at the very beginning. Then you're abandoning Steve. That's right. That would make sense, huh? Verna says we want to see the progress. The progress of what? No, we do not. I don't know what we're talking about. Oh, boom. Did I say that right, Eric? Verna says, Steve, I will bring the seasoning for the cuy as well as the cuy. Yeah, pho. I actually did know that. I forgot that. Actually, I think we just had that the other day, because there is a good Vietnamese place in Gilroy. Truck 3 Warden's here. Hey. We won't be coming to QuailCon after all. Uh-oh. Had everything but the dogs placed, but it isn't going to work out. Oh, you need a dog sitter. Try and find a dog sitter. You have a month. You have the whole month of August to find a dog sitter. I hope you can find them, because it would be so great to meet you. Yeah. Try. Rona says, I'm so sorry, Chuck. Yeah. And Steve's saying, not the first woman to leave me. Oh, gosh. Oh, okay. Let me go back up and you want to see the progress? I think he's embarrassed. it's like skinny right here. I don't know. You'll see it eventually in some video. Perfect pronunciation. Good. You could have you could bring the dogs. Yeah, I would ask Zach. I know that service dogs are welcome. I don't know about other dogs, but you can definitely ask Zach that question. If they're well behaved, that would be, up to him. But yeah. I didn't leave you, Steve. I'll be thinking of you. In other words, she's gonna be in a country song, right? Yeah, ABB saying sorry you won't be able to come. Truck 3, I say try and find a dog sitter. Because you're close, right? Weren't you going to drive like for the weekend or something? Or for the days? I don't remember how close you were. That might have been someone else. Yeah, try and find somebody. Chuck says, my female won't listen to anyone but me. And she can be a terror. Oh, okay. 3 shepherds would be too much. That's probably true. Well, hopefully somebody. You have hours away. Yeah. You have a month to train someone to like her and for her to like them. Has anyone lacto-fermented purslane? Amy, I have not. The only thing I have lacto-fermented is sunchokes, and it was terrible. Mostly because it was salty, and that was my first time lacto-fermenting. So, 10 hours. Still drivable. That was my first time lacto-fermenting, and based on that, I don't know that I want to try it again. And yes, Eric, I love dad jokes. Go for it. Lacto-fermentation is fermentation that happens with the protection of salt. And lacto, people think is like lactose, like milk, but it's actually not. It's lactobacillus, and it's a bacteria. And that's the whole process there. It's with salt, and yeah, I know what I did was safe, and it was just not good. So somebody else knows how to lacto-ferment things such as Jerusalem artichokes. Let me know the appropriate way, because I don't even remember what I did. I just followed directions in some book. Yeah. Sue says, no, the ones I give her. I'm lost, Steve. I'm lost. It's okay. Ed's 9.5 hours away from QuailCon. I am many more hours away, but I'm flying. So, yeah. Eric says, I have unemployment jokes, but they didn't work. Yeah, not that well, right? Didn't work out well. Dave says we have Roger Rabbit and Jessica Rabbit. No name yet for whichever baby female we will keep. The other 4 are Nugget, Morsel, Little Bite, and Yumpsters. Now, are you going to name them within the Roger Jessica character realm? You're going to keep it themed, or are you going to keep it separate? Yeah, I like the the theme stuff. Andy Rabbit says my dad's last name is Riddle. All right, and Verna's 15 minutes away. Andy Rabbit's 10 hours away. Oh my gosh. Amy says I've made sauerkraut with lacto-fermentation, but I have heard about purslane, and it grows by the bushel here. Yeah, so purslane is which purslane is it? Is it the common purslane, or is it the miner's lettuce? Because common purslane is has a thicker leaf, and it's known as a field weed. It's a weed in a lot of farmers' fields. It's very highly nutritious and tastes really good. I don't know about fermenting it at all. Yeah, Verna says try it, Amy, then let us know. Yeah. Andy Rose says dad jokes. LOL. Yep. Eric says my wife is upset that I don't have any sense of direction, so I pack my stuff and write. Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah, you hang around me long enough, you're gonna hear some funky wit. Yeah, Verna says you never know until you try it. Who was the people? There's a channel that does lacto fermentation, and I don't remember who it is, but they do a lot of it, and they had like a course that I did not take. Yeah, I'm sorry. Amy says I'm an hour away, and I will be there. Common porcelain. Yeah, common porcelain is thicker, so I would think that you would be able to do that, but it's also mucilaginous a little bit. Like it's not a whole lot, but it is a little bit. So you might look to see how this is. I'm not a science. Yeah, well, I'm a wildlife biologist. I can say I'm a scientist, but I'm not like a food scientist. So I'm not telling you what to do. But it does have a little bit of mucilaginous stuff, not nearly as much as okra. But I would maybe look up and see how okra is done, and then look up and see how different greens are done, and see if it's the same thing. That's where I would go. Maybe, and the timing you're going to have to like figure it out, maybe for yourself. But yeah. Yeah. Sue says off grid with Doug and Stacy. No, I don't watch them. I stopped watching them. They do stuff. I'm not going to say anymore. Eric says, I sent you an email on how to read maps backwards, but it was spam. Yeah, I actually, here's a story. So when I was little, I was a little dyslexic, and I mean, I guess I still am if I'm like really tired and I'm trying to read and things just don't work. Not to a severe degree at all, but just, you look at stuff and you go, oh, that's not what I said. But when I was little, I learned to read, and then like in school, we had the desks that were 4 desks, where you're facing each other. And we had 2 textbooks, or 2 books. I guess there weren't textbooks at that age, but for some reason, my table decided to share across and not next to each other. I don't know. We were creative. So I learned a lot how to read upside down. So I actually can read upside down quite well, and backwards too. Like if you put it in a mirror, I have no issue with reading that. But to this day, if I'm like really tired and I'm trying to read something, it's just not making sense. You know how when you're tired, you just keep on reading the same sentence over and over again. You don't really realize that you're reading the same sentence over again and just not making sense. I turn the book upside down, and then I can get it. So there's a tip. I don't know if it works for people that didn't grow up that way, learning that way, but sometimes it works. So yeah. Amy says citrus succulent taste. I may bring a jar for your quail con burner. Yeah, the purslane. I don't know where all it grows. I know it's just like I had it pop up in my yard from a plant from the nursery. I would assume it also brought with it. If you have that near you, there might be an explosion of bugs, little tiny black bugs. I know what they look like, but I can't really describe it. And they are called purslane something. Anyway, if you all of a sudden see a bunch of black bugs and they're around your purslane plant, it is a bug specific to that plant. And you can look it up and figure out what it is, but it doesn't really affect anything else. The ones that I saw, at least. I was like, that's a lot of bugs. Where'd you guys come from? Yeah. They ferment, not sure how. Yeah, no, they do. Like I said, I haven't watched them in a very long time. There's other people out there that actually have like courses that you can take with, they have channel, but also have courses that you can get into the nitty gritty. Verna says I need to grow some next year. Purslane grows really readily, and honestly, Verna, if you just put seeds, the seeds are super super tiny. If you just put seeds like out in that lawn area by your garden, they'll just grow like that without any water. Because they grow here without any water, and we don't get water in the summer. Yeah. Eric says 90% of bald people still on a comb. They just can't part with it. Yep. Verna's laughing. David says, if we get another pair, we are thinking Bugs Bunny and Lola Bunny. Yep. So, David, what kind do you have? I know we've gone over this, but I don't remember. Vera says, we learned to read that way. Katrina, sometimes it's easier. Yeah, sometimes it is. And it's just looking at it in a different way. Yeah. Uh-oh, we have a cooey screaming. Okay. Andy says, when I was young, I had a teacher that would hold papers in front of a mirror for me to read a lot. She said I read better that way. There's something about the brain that sometimes that works. Sometimes it works a lot better. And just looking at things through a different, you say through a different lens or different direction. And I think it just turns on something in the brain that is a concentrating part of it, I think. I don't know. Also not a brain scientist. Ed says, LOL, I can read backwards, upside down, or all above mirrored. LOL, yes, I'm weird. Hey, join the weird. Join the weird, Ed. You can't have plants growing outside my planter. They're going to just think they're weeds, Verna. Honestly. They're just going to think they're weeds. Just drop it on the walk that you take. Just don't have Lucy P on it. Is the cooey okay? Amy says, butcher tip. Save your quail feet for bone broth. It takes a lot, but you can add to a bag in the freezer until you get enough. That is true. Or you can send them to Ed and he makes fun things. Berta says, Amy, that is one of my tips in the cookbook. Quail feet and spines for bone broth. Yeah, I save the spines because I spatchcock my quail. Spatchcocking is you cut out the backbone, and it makes it really easy. Just pull everything out. And I personally don't care that it doesn't have a back. It all eats the same, right? Oh, they pull them out every spring. Yeah. Cooey's okay, just complaining. Save the wings for dog treats. Yep. Or for crafts. That's another thing to do. You can save them for crafts. Andy says, I have a bag of quail feet in the freezer. Yep. Dog treats. They do dog treats. They there's lots of things you can do with them. Yeah. Scrub before you spreeze. That is an excellent point, Andy, because I know I have frozen stuff saying, oh, I'm going to deal with this later. And then later comes, I'm like, I should have dealt with this before. Always deal with things before you freeze them. That way, especially if the parts are still warm, right? If it hasn't gone cold yet, yeah, that's better. Always better. And says, no, please don't. I have plenty. Thanks to Katrina. You're welcome. I was saving them to do almost exactly what you're doing, but not as high quality as what you do. I was saving them for that, and I just decided, no, Ed put out a call. Here you go. You get to deal with them. I'm sorry, you're welcome. Is that what I should say, Ed? As well as the heads. Dogs love quail heads. Yeah, Ed got heads from me as well. He got quail heads and feet, both. David says, so he's listing types of rabbits: chinchilla and silver fox. Those are very good rabbits. Babies are 2 black, 2 white, and 1 gray. Very cool. Ed says, you felt with it by shipping it to me. I felt with it? Oh, dealt with it. I dealt with it? It's done. Your request is denied. You're welcome. I'm sorry. Yeah. David says, I spatch our quill as well, quick and easy. David, how is your aviary doing? Is it doing? It's off and going now that they're okay with your Dalmatians? We haven't checked in on that lately, and I haven't heard any complaints lately. So I'm hoping they're doing well. Ed says, yeah, spell check. Yep. Yeah, that's okay. Sometimes spell check wins. And sometimes you get texts from people that don't make any sense at all. I have a neighbor that she sends out just, I feel like sometimes she just types random words. But, and then my response is, what? Repeat. Yeah. Steve says spell check does not like me. Yeah. Amy's asking Ed, could you do a European mount of a quail head? You mean like with a plaque and the little tiny head? You could. You could. You could also make some quailopes, jackalopes. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. Andy Rabbit says, I have not spatchcocked any quail yet. So you do from both sides? You go like that from both sides? Do you use a spoon to do that, or do you use your finger? Because that's something that it's just, I tried it the other way. And like, so one of my friends wanted me to butcher some for her, but she wanted their cute little butts intact. You know, usually I chop off the whole vent right above the uropygial gland, which is the gland that does all of the oils when they preen. And so we had to like peel that off. I'm like, okay, we can do this. Yeah. Andy Rabbit's answering that she uses fingers, and it works good. All right. Ed says, I don't know what that is, but I'm sure I could. Yeah, a European mount quail head. I'm guessing it's on a plaque. I don't know what European mount is, but I'm guessing it's on a plaque. Yeah, Ed does amazing things with crafts, and you can have all the secrets if you go to QuailCon. All right, guys, it is 8:00, and we have been talking for a while. And thank you guys for distracting me for the past 2 hours. Anybody have anything else to say before we go? Verna's having a giveaway Saturday. Good to know. Her Verna, can you tell people what time yours is at? I usually come partway through, but I never remember what time it is. Your time. 7? No, I think it's 7 my time. Anyway, you can tell people what time it is. Andy Rabbit says, I have to have longer nail on pointer finger to get the lungs out. Okay. Yeah. 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern. That is, he beat you to it, Verna. That's Verna's live on Saturday mornings. David says, yes, the heat has reduced our overall egg output by about a third. The aviary quail have put our donations on ignore. I told you they were going to start ignoring things. It's like ours and fireworks. Of course, I mean, they grow up with them as babies too, hearing the fireworks. Yeah. Andy Rabbit, that's not helpful. You say she is 9 in my time, but we don't know what time you are. Are you Central, I guess. Okay. Central. Andy B says European mount is just the skull. Okay. No something. I'm finding this little heart in the corner thing kind of annoying because I can't read the end of words. It says European mount is just the skull, no fake eyes or feathers. Well, there's ways to do that. There's chemical ways to do that, and there's boiling ways to do that. Ed, have you tried the boiling way yet? Outside, so your wife doesn't smell it. The other way to do it, so you can boil the skull, and actually, Cali Quail Keepers, Brooke, Cali Quail Keepers has a really good video on how to do that, to get the skull. And then also another way to do it is turgezyme, and I'm going to spell it hopefully correctly. Turgezyme. Turgezyme is it's an enzyme, and it is something that you should use either outdoors or with a hood. And it makes the bones nice and white. It dissolves all of the flesh and does that. I used that when I was making voucher specimens of small mammals when I was doing my research out at Heart Mountain and in Oregon. And I was doing some diet analysis for carnivore scat, and needed some voucher specimens. So, okay, this is a sagebrush foal. This is what the sagebrush foal bones look like. Okay, well, now if we find that in the scat, that's what it's going to be. We compare. So that's how I know about turgezyme. Yeah. And Ed says that's super easy. And he's 10:02 right now. In misery. Yeah, Verna says, yes, I agree that heart is a PETA. I don't know why it's at the bottom and not like either below where the chat is, where actually people are typing. That would be better placement. Yeah, and Ed saying, yeah, same thing. Yes, it is Calico Keepers of Texas. Yes. So Brooke moved to Texas. I don't know if she's going to change her channel name. I think she's thinking about it. But yeah, she's going to get quail again, which is exciting. Yeah, she's from California. She started her business in California. Now she's in Texas. Yeah. Oh, from, not where she lives now. Yeah, but she has good video on that. The hardest misery. I think it's a fun thing. People can click on it when they like things or whatever. But I just think it's getting dark and I'm getting worse color, right? It is bad placement. Oh, okay. Verna found it. This is the link for Brooke's Calico Keepers link to her channel showing how to do the boiled skulls and how to make the skulls by, get the skulls out by boiling. And yeah. As says, I'm waiting for it to cooler to do the heads outside. Yeah, I agree. Steve says, I thought Katrina put the heart there. I did not. I also don't understand why I have it, because I can love what I'm doing all the time. But that's not what matters. I don't know why I have it. No, I did not put it there. I think that got put there when I got to the partially monetized part where it's like people can do thank yous and super chats and all that stuff. But yeah. Oh, speaking of which, I need a name, guys. So I told you guys what I want to do for a membership. I want to do a cook with me monthly for members only, and where you guys get the ingredients ahead of time and you can cook with me one night a month. And I need a name. Like, I don't want to call it just Sow and Tare members. So think about some names and tell me next week. Yeah. Ed says if you have freeze dryers, skip the borax part. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Not a name for that, Steve. A name for the member group. Like, Sutton's Days has Pantry Pals. I don't know who else names their groups. Yeah, different groups. That's funny. Thanks for great info, everyone. Amy says, Sow and Tare share. Maybe. All right, think about it. Tell me next time. And I think I'm going to get off here because it is 8:07. Kooks. You're funny, Ed. If I have a fire department, what? If I have a fire department, what are you getting me into? I don't know. Oh, like Tiny Shiny Homestead has tiny shiny homies. Yeah. I need to figure out what we're naming this thing. Oh. Okay, I understand what the confusion is. FD is short for freeze dryer, not for fire department. Okay, that makes sense. I'm like, I don't know why we're talking about a fire department. All right, guys, I am going to say goodnight. Thank you guys for staying and listening and chatting and being involved. And there you go. Not the terribles. I like it. All right, we'll talk about that next week. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful night. We will see you next week, same time, same channel, 6 p.m. Pacific time next Monday. All right. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day.